Hello. Okay, so hi. Basically, I'm going to teach you the quick way and the tips and tricks you need in order to be successful at abstract reasoning, which is a section of the UKCAT. Now I'll make another video on what is the UKCAT. If you've clicked on this video, you already know what it is and why you're here. This video will be a very condensed and a very sort of in-depth look at abstract reasoning and the quick tips and tricks on how to basically pass it and do the best you can. So I'll do a really basic overview of what abstract reasoning is and pros and cons, or reasoning why people don't do as well as they should on abstract reasoning. So abstract reasoning is basically, you get a bunch of questions that use abstract reasoning, which is like a bunch of shapes, letters, any shape or even numbers maybe, and somewhere you get two sets, set A, set B, or whatever. Somewhere in the set there is a logic or a reasoning or a key. We'll call it logic, I don't want to confuse you. A logic to which all of those shapes follow. Now, your job is simple. You have 55 questions, 13 minutes, 11 sets of 5 questions, and your job is simple. You have to find out the answer. Now, I'm not joking you when I say 13 minutes and 11 sets. Here is the biggest problem of why people don't do well in abstract reasoning. It is because you have approximately per set 1 minute. Let's just put that in 60 seconds. It's a little more than 1 minute, but let's take the minimum per set, 60 seconds. A lot of people spend double or triple this amount per set of question. So you have 5 questions. So what this means is, and pause the video or take screenshots, take notes, do whatever you want. I'll actually move this here. This means that for 5 questions plus finding out the rule, you have 60 seconds. Now, like I said, this is going to be a very juiced feature, not feature rich, but very like a cheap way or a quick way of applying rules to make sure that you get amazing results every time. So what we're going to focus on is the timing aspect. Now, my technique is different to other people's. Other people, they'll go very in depth. They pull like 10 rules, 8 rules, like 20 rules, shove them in your mouth. Do that, and then a lot of people, what happens is, even if they use all of those rules, it's such a lengthy and time-consuming way in which it's practiced that when it comes to real-world results, those people don't get the results they were looking for. Now, obviously, there's different types of people. Everyone works in a different way. My rules are to be worked upon every single person. They are the most basic of basics. They're for people who the other techniques don't work on. This is why I'm teaching this and making this rule, because for me, memorizing or learning like 20 rules, 10 rules, and then trying to put them into within 60 seconds wasn't feasible. So I had to come up with a method of my own in order to accurately apply rules in a quick fashion. So let's see how fast we have to apply rules. First off, timing wise, when I said you have 11 sets of 5 questions, what I mean is you'll have one complete question with, you'll have 5 questions relating to 2 sets. We'll get into the sets later, but I'll just say, so you have like set A and set B, usually a pair, and you have 5 questions to answer. And then you have a rule to set A and set B. So you have 3 components to time: the rule, the set, which technically these are together. So actually, let's put them into 2 perspectives. Let's make it even easier. The rule and the questions. Each question, I want you to take 5 seconds to answer. This is the minimum. This is the maximum. Sorry, I want max. If you can answer in 2 seconds, 3 seconds, beautiful. That will give you a total of 25 seconds to answer 5 questions, which is more than enough. Remember, you've got 60 seconds minimum for this set of 5. This mathematically leaves 35 seconds that you have for finding out a rule for set A and set B. Now, I know this seems quite difficult. This is where the problem lies. So first off, let me give you a trick or tip. Usually with set A in UKCAT and set B, whatever rule these 2 follow is similar to B. Now let me explain that. Let's say in set A, you have 2 shapes. They are, or two pairs of shapes. They're both white and they're both small. In set B, you have 2 black shapes and they are big. You see the rule. One rule was on color and the other rule, compound rule, was on the size. So B followed the same logic in color and size, but it did it in another way. It did it in the opposite way. This is usually how the sets work, and we can abuse this knowledge or use this knowledge to really cut down the time taken to find out the rule. So basically, if you find a rule only in one set, you quickly retrofit it into another set and see, does that follow the logic? And usually it'll follow the logic, but in another way. Get that rule, stop, pause, bang them out into the questions. So now I've got those rules done. Let's get it started. Now, so again, pause the video for those. That was timing. I want to be very quick, no nonsense. Let's go down to the rules. The rules can usually be simple or compound. Simple or compound. Now, the way I teach, I like to put in front of you an example and work through that example and then show it to you that way, instead of just vomiting words and numbers and letters and crap like that onto you. So let's get down to it. Let's take a set from the UKCAT website. These are taken from the Kaplan test prep resources. You have 2 sets, so let's put them together just to save, save some space in my workbench. And I'll put the sets in the middle because I want to be working around them. And I'll put my brush to thin is good. Okay. Oops. Sorry about that. Now let's get down to my rules. So my rules are very simple. Number one, my tips and tricks. I only have a few rules. Number one, color. 2, shape. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. This is number, and then 5 is of course going to be wrote. I on purpose want to show you rotation reflection because I'm going to 5 really means advanced of 2. I'll leave it like this. So as you can see, I have very simple rules. Only 6. And actually, the main thing that you're going to focus on is these things. The bulk of the questions are going to use these. The bulk. I'd say about 80%. 80 to 90% is going to be this. Very easy. If x then y basically means if a shape has this property, then in the same cell, in the same cell, this is a cell, something else will happen. So this is like a more advanced technique, and usually this is related to pattern. So 4 and 5 are really one rule in one. And then also rotation and reflection, obviously it's to do with shapes, so really you have 4 rules. But the reason why I separated 5 and 6 is they're more advanced rules that I don't want you to focus on, that I want to be an afterthought rather than a core thought. These are the core, 4 core and then 2 extra. So you see how already the rules, you're already winning because you have only 4 things to think about, and then extra added 2 if you really want. If these 4 do not work, then I want you to go into these 2 rules, and I'll explain how they work in a minute. So now let's put down, we're going to put A, and then we're going to put B here. Set A and set B. I'm going to explain the rules with the example as I go. This is the best way to explain to people, and I want you to also follow along with me if you can. So we're going to start with color. Now color is literally as it says on the tin. I'm going to use set A, and whatever I find for set A, I'll apply it to set B, because even though I say usually whatever logic you find for set A is similar to set B, the reason why I'm going to do both of them is because, and it might be a longer video, is I want you to, irrespective of the set, I want you to be able to look at like any set, like if C, D, B, and find a rule and apply it to the other set. So I want you to be reversible, interchangeable. I don't want you to just go to set A and be like, okay. Because the reason why I say that is sometimes the rule postulated or implied in one set might be harder or to see than set B. If you find that, I want you to immediately switch over to the next set and start that set. So whatever I do with A, I'll do with B. So we'll start quickly now. Color. Very simple. We look at the colors. So we see in set A we have black, we have white. B also black and white. This is literally 1 second in your brain and retain. Black and white. If they both have something, I'm going to put it in the middle. And I'll put arrows in case, I'll put arrows so when you're taking the screenshots or whatever on your notes, you can you can record it. So let me delete that.